Senators' statements. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking over in the corner for you, Senator McKenzie. Sorry. Senator McKenzie.
Thank you very much, Mr Acting Deputy President. The need to reinvigorate and bolster Australia's manufacturing capability to protect our supply chains is essential products has never been more important. Indeed, its fragility and our overexposure to certain markets has been exposed through the COVID-19 pandemic. The Nationals' ambitious Manufacturing 2035 plan to modernise and rejuvenate Australian manufacturing will do just that. Manufacturing 2035 will get production lines humming and reboot our sovereign manufacturing capability. The Nationals' plan will make Australia make again. But there are challenges. Our plan is a solid roadmap to address these challenges because Australians need to be able to buy Australian-made products. Over the past decade, there have been trade protection measures reduced, with some manufacturing industries all but disappearing from Australian shores. Record demand for Australian resource exports has maintained a relatively high Australian dollar, making it tough for manufacturers to compete against cheaper, mass-produced imports, often from countries where the tough environmental standards that our own Australian manufacturers operate under do not exist. And our manufacturers have paid 91% more for electricity and 48% more for gas over the past decade. All of these challenges have resulted in our manufacturing decline in real terms, with a 5% reduction in domestic manufacturing over the past decade. This has had a flow-on impact on Australian jobs, with a new record low of fewer than 850,000 people employed in manufacturing by the end of last year. But, Mr Acting Deputy President, the Nationals are here and we have a plan. Regional Australia is the engine room of the Australian economy, and we will continue to lead the way. It is through the can-do attitude of hard-working, visionary Australians that regional Australia accounts for more than 60% of Australia's existing exports. Our plan, released during January, will protect strategic industries, will increase trade promotion efforts and grow exports, will provide accessible access to finance and capital for those wanting to enter and grow manufacturing efforts, support a Buy Australian policy, get people into trades and harmonise qualifications and employment conditions, and invest in reliable and affordable energy and the strategic infrastructure that supports Australian manufacturing. Over the last 12 months, I've met with manufacturers right across Australia via Zoom, obviously last year, and on-site visits recently to the Hunter and the Northern Rivers in New South Wales. And I've heard what they've had to say. I've heard how we can actually support these brilliant local businesses to grow their potential, reach new heights and employ more people locally. And whilst there are particular issues specific to each region, some of the messages have been clear and consistent. They're ready to expand. They want to help more Australians buy Australian products. They're very passionate about having Australian-made products on the shelves ready for Australians to buy and online. They want to employ Australians, very much so, and support the growth and development of their communities. And they also need strong government, state and federal, to help them, a government that backs them and their vision for their local business and their industry. How many pairs of iconic R.M. Williams boots do we see walking the halls of Parliament? And I had the opportunity to bump into the former Shadow Minister for Agriculture, Ed Husick. Hadn't quite got around to buying his pair of RMs before he was moved on. But another great champion in the Labor Party of regional Australia, a man that I often find myself agreeing with, Joel Fitzgibbon, does own a few pair of the iconic R.M. Williams brand. The Australian bootmaker is expanding. Obviously, it's National Party uniform for us to have multiple pairs. But how many pairs of iconic R.M. Williams boots that we do see here in Parliament and right across Australia, particularly out in the regions, it's great to see that they're expanding their factory and bringing manufacturing of that iconic product back home. Other manufacturing businesses want to do the same. They want to expand and grow. Recently, the Business Council of Cooperatives and Mutuals and the HunterNet Cooperative invited myself and Senator Perrin Davey to the Hunter Valley in New South Wales so we could better understand the opportunities and challenges that they face. I was also able to visit cooperative food manufacturers in the beautiful Northern Rivers region with BCCM again to learn about their business ambitions and how government policies can support them. Everything from cooperative macadamia processors, blueberry farmers, and obviously milk and beef processing operating within cooperative structures. All high-tech, advanced food processing manufacturers that want to grow and succeed. And last week, in Sawtill in New South Wales, North Coast, I also was able to meet with foresters. In Coffs Harbour with the National Party member for Cowper, Paddy Conahan. All great small and medium enterprises, all family businesses, and the Australian Forest Products Association. We have some of the most amazing advanced technology being used by these businesses to make sure our sustainably harvested and produced, environmentally sound and principled Australian timber can be turned into beautiful products that we can all be very proud of, and be very also proud that it's produced under high environmental standards, that if we import those timber products from other countries, we cannot be as confident in the environmental impact. I'm very excited about the work that we're going to be doing as a party and as a Senate team in supporting food and fibre manufacturers going forward into this year. We're also going to be focusing as a group on the EPBC review, which severely impacts our foresters and also agricultural and development opportunities out in rural and regional Australia. In my home state of Victoria, we've got a wonderfully strong timber and forestry sector, particularly down in Gippsland, but also through the northeast and over in Western Victoria, under attack, I might say, by a state Labor government. Very, very disheartening, I think, to see a once proud party that supported hard-working timber workers turning their back on those regional communities and on that industry in itself, to chase green votes in Brunswick. And I know that's not a view shared by all of the Labor Party colleagues in this chamber, but unfortunately the Labor Party state premier in my home state of Victoria, Daniel Andrews, really wants to see, the forestry industry cease in our home state, which is very, very sad to see, and something we'll be fighting, obviously, at a state and federal level. In Kyabram, we've got Wayne and Peter, David Mulcahy's Kai Valley Dairy Group. It's the largest and leading bulk fresh milk supplier into Southeast Asia, which includes Malaysia and Singapore. Tatura is the home of the largest Australian-owned producer of cream cheese and infant formula. We've got some great food and fibre processing happening out into the regions, employing hundreds, thousands of Australians. We want to see that grow and prosper. The Nationals want to build our sovereign manufacturing by turning our already abundant primary products into manufactured goods and complex products. Our energy and mineral and agricultural resources are all located out in the regions. We also want those high-tech, sustainable careers in the processing side also located out in the regions, which is why our manufacturing plan 2035 backs the setting up of regional hubs. And I know in the Hunter, they're very excited about being identified in our policy as one of the key areas, along with Gladstone, for setting up that regional hub where we can really focus on the already existing capacity in regions like the Hunter and Gladstone for advanced manufacturing of primary products, whether it is our mineral resources, our food or our fibre. That capacity already, that skill set, that passion, that know-how already exists in those regions, and we want to build that going forward. We want to do it for two reasons: because we believe that we should have a sovereign capacity here, located onshore, that we control as Australians, that is less subject to the vagaries and challenges of overseas trading partners and global unforeseeable circumstances such as COVID-19. But we also want to see those jobs here at home. We want to reboot Aussie manufacturing. We've got a 9-point plan to do that. We're delivering, and we look forward to getting production lines humming right across Australia.
Thank you, Senator Mackenzie.